Welcome to the Endless Entrepreneurs YouTube channel. My name is Luke Henson. I am a eBay reseller, Poshmark reseller, and now Mercari. I also have a real estate investor. I primarily buy and hold single-family homes, and I also work full-time in the corporate world. So this channel is kind of dedicated to documenting those two businesses and showing how to balance that with kind of a full-time career. Per the title of this video, I'm going to focus today on 20 things that sold for me during the month of November 2018 is the year. We are almost to the end of the year. It's crazy. It's been a really, really fast year. But I'm going to go through and I'll share my screen. I will show 20 things that were sold during November. I sell somewhere between like 350 and 450 items a month-ish on eBay. So I just kind of picked off a variety of items to show you. I get asked a lot now that I primarily buy in bulk. I buy liquidation. Actually, I'm going to adjust my screen there, guys. So I buy liquidation and pretty much pallets and flip that on eBay, Mercari and Poshmark. So I actually don't thrift much anymore, which is what I started off doing, was thrifting for many years and just flipping used apparel. Now I pretty much sell all new tags apparel. So the what sold aspect of this will kind of differ a little bit from maybe what some of the other what sold videos show, but I thought it was worth kind of demonstrating one of the things that I'm buying in bulk now. A lot of people asking what it is that I'm actually selling now. So hopefully this will shed some light on that. It'll give an idea of, if you are looking to buy in bulk, some of the things that are out there that you probably could get your hands on with the right networking. I'll give you approximate costs on each item. I won't have exact costs for you. I'll give a range just because I pretty much allocate costs based on the price of the overall pallet and the quantity it comes with. But hopefully this will be helpful and add some value to you guys. I see people are starting pouring. This is live. I'll do some Q&A at the end like I do with all my videos. If you see me interacting in the chat, that's why. But I will be sharing screen, so I won't be seeing a lot of the chat for most of the video. If anyone in the chat can let me know they can hear me all right, that would be great. I just want to make sure that audio is good. I'm using a Hangout this time instead of just going straight live from YouTube. So just want to make sure. I believe the audio is good. It looks like it's fine. So we got a few people in the chat right now. All right. I am going to assume we are good. I'm going to jump in, and I'm going to show these sales and see what we got going on. All right, 1 second. All right. Should be able to see my screen now. And so I picked 20. Like I said, I'll kind of give a little bit of backstory between each of them to hopefully help you guys with what to be on the lookout for. This actually, I kind of bought it locally in bulk, I guess you could say. There was a local seller I bought actually from, or not seller, but a local collector. I've bought from him 3 times now. He's slowly been phasing out, I think, his collection of jerseys over the last like 2 years. This came in, I'm not sure which batch I bought from him, but I've bought probably close to 200 jerseys from him. I've actually paid about between $10 and $12 a jersey, depending on who it is. So this one, I was supposed to say conservatively, I was in it for 12 bucks. This sold for full price, $32.99 plus $4.99 to ship. So I do charge shipping for everything. And actually, I'm not sure why this is $4.99. Might have an old business policy assigned to it. I typically charge $6.99 flat for all of my shipping. It just makes it easier for me. I can fit almost anything into a priority flat rate, which that covers. And it's just easier for me to manage. I prefer to charge shipping over free shipping. That's just what I prefer from an apparel perspective. But like I said, this is a Brian Urlacher jersey. He played for the Chicago Bears, probably one of the more prolific linebackers ever to play for them. This is a basic Reebok jersey. If you're into jerseys at all, these are kind of like the lower end. They're screen printed. They don't have the stitched numbers or letters. Reebok's kind of the step down from like the Nike on-field stuff. Nike on-field, I'd say, is kind of the top dog as far as jerseys go right now. So getting this price is pretty solid. I would say typically for like the no-name players, you're getting like in the high teens to the mid-20s. For the really popular vintage players, you can get a little higher. So this is a pretty solid return considering that it's not the Nike. I'm just going to check the chat real quick here. I think that we're good, but oops. Yeah, we're good. Awesome. All right. So here's another jersey, just keeping with the theme. This one came actually same seller. In light of college football season, I thought it was appropriate to share this one. I actually can't stand Alabama. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted about this a little while ago. Really don't enjoy Nick Saban or Alabama. Respect how good they are, but really don't enjoy them. So this is an Courtney Upshaw jersey. This was definitely a better quality, like us speaking out of the Nike here. This isn't on field. It's a Nike team jersey, I believe. But you can see the letters and the numbers are stitched on. So the patches, the Nike logo sewn on. Definitely a higher quality. Here's that tag, the Nike team tag. Has the authentic tag next to it. So this is a pretty good flip. Apologize for the yawn. We have a new puppy. Sleep has been hasn't been a common thing lately. But in any case, this is a $12 one. Again, this actually sold for full price, $38.24. I was running a sale. That's why the odd amount of 24 cents. Plus $6.99 to ship, which is my standard. So well over, into that $45 range, 12 into 45. Very happy with that return. So this is now jumping into more of the bulk buys that I encounter. So I have two main suppliers I use. This one came from my main supplier. I get a lot of really good stuff from him. So here, I got actually a pretty large batch of these Oakley hydraulics polo shirts, like a dry fit golf polo. You can see he's got the Oakley logo right in the middle. I got a bunch of different colorways. This one happened to be the green and pale green and white. I've got some grays and some blacks and like that. Took a best offer, sold this one for $27.99. I know it's not reflected here, but I did notate that. It was $27.99 plus $6.99 to ship. So around that $35 price point, which is I'm in most of it from this particular supplier. It ranges, but it's anywhere from like I've bought as low as like $1.50 unit for some lower end stuff, all the way up to like $7.50, $8.50 a unit, depending on the higher end stuff. I'm guessing this came in one that was somewhere in that $5 to $7 range. But all new with tag stuff, which is why I'm willing to pay it. But honestly, this is probably cheaper than thrift store prices in a lot of areas of the country, unfortunately or fortunately. So very happy from a bulk buy perspective to flip we'll just say 7 conservatively into basically $35. Obviously, also cheaper to ship because it's first class. It's definitely less than £1. I'm just going to keep checking the chat here. I don't see anything, so I think we're good. All right. And I'm actually going to check the Hangout here just because I haven't done a Hangout in a while. All right, I think we're okay. Boop. So here is a LL Bean. So I bought LL Bean 3,000 pair of shelf pull pants. I would say 70% of them were new without tags, 30% were with tags. I bought this back in May of 2000 and I guess it was May of 2017 I bought it. So I've had these for about a year and a half. They're still selling off. These are flannel line jeans. They actually do really well in the wintertime, because of the flannel aspect of them. Took a best offer for this particular pair for $7.99. I'm actually only in these for $1.15 a pair. That's how cheap I got this lot. It was a pretty unique buy back then. It was actually my first experience ever bulk buying. They are still selling off. I am more than paid back on my order, and everyone that sells from here now is just pure profit. So I'm very, very happy every time I see those sell. But in case, $17.99 was the best offer plus $7 to ship. These do fit in a flat rate envelope, so which is I think it's $6.95 for me to ship. Actually, I'll show you a couple of pictures here. Sorry. I would not normally buy these like used in thrift stores, but these are new without tags, so they sell pretty decent. This is actually an order. I just did a unboxing of a pallet I got. It's mostly JCPenney stuff, men's apparel. Bought these actually from Smash Lots. Actually, I see he's been partying out. Jasper, I would say Jasper, contact over there. He's a second supplier I use. It's the one I'll share publicly. But he's been selling lots of 25 units of this stuff. I bought an 800-piece unit, basically of the same mix. So it's just a Christmas sweater, and this is all big and tall stuff. This is a 4XLT. This sold for full price, $22.99 plus $6.99 to ship. So, right at that $30 price point. I was in this for just under $5 a unit shipped. So, pretty solid flip there. Very happy with that. This is some old inventory. So this is from back when I used to thrift a lot. I was big into suits and blazers. Still think if you are not buying in bulk, suits and blazers are a great long tail flip if you have the space to store them and know what you're looking for. But This was a Ralph Lauren. It was a navy blue pinstripe suit. Let me see if I can find the label for you. I think this is just the green label, so it's actually Ralph Lauren, so it's not like the true Ralph Lauren. But it was just a 2-button. It was a cashmere wool blend suit, 40 regular, pretty common size, 36 by 30 pants, which are also pretty common. I had this for a while. I would say I had this for over a year. I've been trying to kind of blow out some of my really old used inventory, trying to get some consistency in my stores to be all new with tags, and just kind of getting my old used inventory out the door, creating more space. But I paid $9.99 for suits around here in my area. They're all flatly priced, and I unloaded this for, I think I do a best offer of $35 plus $6.99 to ship. So, a solid return. If I was patient, I could definitely get full price for this, but I'm just trying to move it, so was happy to get rid of that. This is another example. I get quite a few accessories in some of the pallets I get from my primary supplier. So these, if anyone knows anything about lacrosse, Warrior is a big lacrosse brand, and these are, the version was Regulator. That's the model. The brand is Warrior. And these are just some elbow pads that go for lacrosse. And these actually, were they youth? Yeah, these are youth size. These sold for, I took a best offer of, I think it was $21.99 plus $6.99 to ship. They went first class. They're pretty light. And again, somewhere between like $4 and $7 I'm into these for. Just depends what pallet it came from. I'd have to look it up. But, just so you have a rough ROI on that. Here's another example of accessories. These are adrenaline socks. These are lacrosse, another lacrosse brand sock. I lotted these together. They came individually. Sometimes when I see this, I'll just lot them together to get a higher price point. A lot of times when I bulk buys, right, you're getting kind of a lower end. You're paying, a flat price for X amount of units. Sometimes you're the bottom end to some of these accessory things that, you're kind of breaking even on a one-by-one basis. But when you lot them together, you can get a higher purchase price. So that's what I did here, the adrenaline. These sold for full price, $16.99 plus $6.99 to ship. And actually, the buyer opened a return on me. Didn't really say why, and tried to say item not as described, but didn't give any rationale. So actually, I've been fighting this one. Not really spending any time on it. I'm just being difficult. I just keep asking to send pictures and give a specific example, and he's not. I think he's just trying to get out of paying return shipping. So it's just been kind of floating out there. It's kind of actually funny. Returns don't really bother me that much. I just when people aren't upfront or honest about it, I just don't make it easy for them to do it. Here's another example of an accessory. And again, I'm just going to check the chat really quick, and I'll take questions at the end, of course. Sorry, I keep hitting the wrong tab here. Someone says, oh, I'm just going to remove that. Sorry, I think a troll in the chat maybe. So flipping back here, here's another accessory. So these are another Under Armour. I get a lot of Under Armour from my primary supplier. Under Armour, Nike, Adidas, those kind of like sporting good type brands. So here's kind of the accessory examples. I get a lot of hats. This sold. This didn't sell full price. I think I took an offer. It was like $12 or $13. It was about $20 shipped. I remember that's kind of my threshold for a lot of these Under Armour hats, is I try to get all in for $20 shipped because they ship really cheaply for me. Obviously, they're very light. So I'm pretty sure it was a $12 or $13 best offer, and in this for somewhere between that $4 and $7 range. All right, here is, I got a ton of these in one of my pallets. So these are like a fishing hat. They have the UPF, like the sun protection on them. The hats fold up in the back. They have like a Velcro, so if you don't want to hang on your neck, you can like Velcro it up. Really popular fishing hats. This sold for, it was a best offer in the high teens. It was $17 or $18 plus a $6.99 to ship. I've been getting pretty solidly. I've probably had like 40 or 50 of these in my store, I think, different colorways. I've been getting solidly $25 to $30 shipped for these for quite a few months now. And I suspect as we get to springtime, they'll really sell off. So again, like somewhere in that $4 to $7 price point, we'll say $7 for all these just to be conservative. And realizing as you buy in bulk and you cut it to streamline, those margins shrink, right? They're not as good as thrift stores all the time. But there are some home run items, which you'll see in here. And good timing, here is one of the home run items. This came in one of the pallets. Again, was in this for $4 to $7. We'll say $7. There was a little bit of a defect on here. There was some discoloration on the inside of the collar. Let me see where the photo is of it. Yeah, right here. There was like just a You can see that kind of the little tear in there and a little, like, I don't know, it's like a black mark. And there was some discoloration inside the collar you can see here. But I ended up selling this. This was a big one. This sold for full price, $68.88, plus the $6.99 ship. So here's some examples of, although you get some of those lower end accessories, you do get quite a few of these sprinkled in, and so really big home run type items. Great during the winter, sold pretty fast, and I was happy to ship that out of there. Get a decent amount of bathing suits too. A lot of more like the competitive suits for swim teams and things like that. So TYR is one of the brand here. I get a lot of this brand, a lot of Dolphin, and a lot of Speedo. And so these sell anywhere between like $20 and $30 pretty steadily for me. This one, actually, the buyer bought 3 of these. I just pulled one of them out, and I gave him a price break of $21 for each one, plus combined shipping. So, gave him a little bit of discount on there, but, helped me out with sending 3 all out at once to one buyer, getting some cash in through there. And you can see kind of the tags on these. All right, we're about halfway through the items I have here. Hopefully you guys are getting some value out of it. Just going to keep panning over to the comments here. Hi, Donna. Thanks for joining in, Mr. Snowland. Donna in the chat is from New York, where I used to be from, and we are supposedly going to be getting some snow this weekend here in Charlotte. They're saying we could potentially get, in Charlotte, where I live, probably 3 to 6 inches potentially, or if it warms up just a couple degrees, we might not get any, it might get all rain. But either case, the whole city's in a big panic and raiding all the grocery stores and all that fun stuff. So being a New Yorker, I'm not that worried about it. And when I say New Yorker, I mean upstate New Yorker, not New York City. So I'm used to bombing around in snow on country roads and not really worrying about it. In either case, though, sorry for the tangent there. Under Armour, some more Under Armour, keeping with the theme here. I got a pretty big batch of these Under Armour golf shorts of late. I've been getting these have been selling pretty steadily for like in that $24 to $28 shipped range. Had a couple sell full price, the $29.99 plus shipping, but tended to be taking best offers that gets me right out between that $25 and $30 shipped point. And in these, again, for that $4 to $7 range, just depends what pallet it came from. This is size 40, so a little on the bigger side. I kept a couple pair of these for myself, different colorways, because I like to golf. One of the perks of buying pallets like this and getting things in is you definitely can freshen up your wardrobe on a pretty affordable basis. So, all right. Here is some Reebok. Reebok's another brand actually I get quite a bit of. Definitely not like a booming high-end hot brand, but it sells pretty steady. And this is a new tag. It's just a big hoodie. It's like they call it Speedwick, which is like their version of Dry Fit. It's really big. I mean, Reebok in general is big with CrossFitters. I actually do CrossFit, so I've learned a little bit more about how much it is kind of popular with them. I've only been doing it for like 5 or 6 months, but I'm realizing that Reebok is the predominant brand in that sport. Versus I was always used to kind of the Nike, Jordan, Under Armour, and being a basketball player, just wasn't as drawn to Reebok. So it's interesting seeing the different uses and the things that are worth more with Reebok that I just really hadn't ever paid attention to. But this sold for full price, $17.99 plus $6.99 to ship. Not a home run, definitely a bread and butter type thing at that $4 to $7 purchase point. But those are part of the process of buying in bulk and saving time on not going to the stores. More Under Armour. This one, I believe, was new without tags. This is why I priced it $29.99. Usually the new without tag stuff, I tend to price about $5 to $6 lower than the stuff that's new with tags for comparable items. This is just one of those quarter zip, like Dry Fit, Storm. It's the Storm models. And this took a best offer of $23.99 plus the $7 to ship. And these have been flying off the shelf now that winter time is here. I got these like in July of this last year, so they're pretty slow to move. We're in the middle of summer, not much that was moving. Then we hit September, and they all just started to move. So I'm getting pretty low on most of the sweatshirts, which I'm happy about. Adidas, again, this is another brand I get quite a bit of. This one was new with tags. It's a big quarter zip. I think this was a 2XL. You can see the tags here, Adidas Advantage. I took a best offer of $24.99 plus $6.99 to ship. And you'll see it's pretty much a theme. I do take a lot of best offers. I like to keep inventory moving as long as it hits my ROI threshold. I'm really just looking. I like to have like 4 times purchase price for the all-in shipped cost. That seems to be a decent number for me. So, you know, at that $7 price, if we're at the high end, the $7 price point, I like to flip it for 28 with including shipping. It seems to be a pretty solid, just kind of rough high-end model that I try to follow. We got a couple items left. Just going to check chat real quick. Let's see what a couple people here. I will take questions at the end, and you can really, it's Friday night. Ask me whatever you want. It's fine. Open book, reseller related. So this is one of the lower end brands I get in my pallets quite a bit. Lady Hagen. It's a golf brand. But these unique items like this sell okay for me. So this one sold for full price, $17.99 plus the shipping. It's kind of a, I think it's definitely a golf shirt or golf skirt. You'll notice I put tennis in the keywords, and I say me. I mean, my VA, who's amazing, did it. She does awesome with titles, but she put tennis in there because it's also could be dual purposed as a tennis skirt. But this definitely is designed more of a golf one, I believe. But these sell okay, the skirts, and I get a lot of their women's polo shirts like this. They don't sell very well, but they come in my orders. Usually those are like low teens. Here's another one. So the sweatshirts I got a pretty large batch of these. Like they're kind of like the cowl scoop neck type sweatshirts. Really comfy. I kept a couple for myself, different colorways. But this one sold for, took a best offer for $27.99 plus the $6.99. So sold for about $35 shipped. So, you know, 7 to 35 is pretty solid, about 5X there. Really happy with that. And getting these in bulk, multi-quantity, it's pretty nice. And we got 2 items left to cover. This actually I found in the thrift store. I remember finding this quite a while ago. These are women's pants, New Land's End. And you can say also the difference in the style of my photos. So I have quite a few different photographers who do work for me, and you can see there's some inconsistencies with the backgrounds, the picture sequences. I'm really trying to shore that up. That's another reason I've been blowing out a lot of my old inventory. And now that I've figured out the systems that work for me, I'm trying to kind of standardize quality, standardize my stores. So kind of working towards that. But this is a pretty solid flip. These were sold full price, $23.99 plus a $6.99 to ship, so about $31 all in. And I was in these for $3.99 from the thrift store. That's what pants are, where I thrift or where I used to thrift. And last but not least, I included this one because I wanted to show that I get a decent amount. I would say like 10 to 15% of stuff, like high-end brands that have defects. North Face happens to be one of the more popular ones that I get. Seems to be more prevalent. And a lot of it is stuff where like ink tags have blown up on it, and just like a little bit. So let me see if I can find the flaw on this one. So there's a yellow stain in the zipper. I don't know if you guys can see it here. Hold on. You can like hardly see it. There was a yellow stain on it though. I don't know why I can't find it right now. Maybe it's in a different picture. Hold on. No, I guess not. There was like a little yellow stain from ink though on the inside. But even that, even with the stains, and I've had some ones with like large, like quarter size, like blue or yellow ink stains. These North Faces still sell well. This one sold for full price in a day, $24.99 plus $6.99 to ship. So, you know, $32 for a flawed item. It's kind of hard to be upset with that. And I've been told from my supplier that I'll probably be getting in the springtime. He usually gets a pretty large North Face liquidation. So I will be get first dibs on that. So I'm very, very excited about that. As you can see, even if they come flawed, they seem to fly off the shelves pretty decent. So I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to flip back to the Hangout here and see what we got going on. Hopefully some of this is interesting to you guys. I used to do a lot of what's sold videos from thrifting. I've shied away from them of late just because I'm doing more buying in bulk, and I wasn't sure how much value it had. But a lot of people have been asking me what I'm selling nowadays. So I thought it would be worth it to kind of share that with you. If this is valuable, I'll work this into kind of a weekly or bi-weekly routine of sharing some of the different items I'm getting and buying in bulk and selling. I have no problem doing that. I just wanted to put this out. This is more of a feeler video to see if this is something that's interesting to people. And I'll do it more regular. I used to love doing the what sold videos. I think better than haul videos. Like haul videos are great to watch, and I used to do a lot of them myself. But the what sold videos really help more to see trends, to understand what's actually selling, what the price points they're selling for are. And this is stuff, even when you're seeing the new attack stuff, it should still give you an idea of those brands used, you know, what it might equate to. So I'm hoping they'll add some value. I think these are the most valuable type of video to watch if you're trying to learn a niche or learn what to sell. But again, if you're not buying in bulk into a tags, it's not as relevant. So just let me know what you guys think in the comments after you've watched this. I really appreciate that. For now, I'll definitely take some Q&A. Whatever you guys want to ask is fair game, reseller related, personally related. I'll answer what I can. So someone's asking a question about returns here. I'll just take them as they come, so just drop them in the chat as you think of them. It says, in my store, buyer pays for returns. I've had 2 returns where buyer states that the clothing smelled of smoke. My items are laundered, steamed, and bagged, so I know that's not true. I've been stuck with paying return ship. Is there anything I can do to prevent this? Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot you can do to prevent that. That's one of those ones you just kind of got to chalk up to a cost of doing business. Some people know how to get around it and game it, and they're going to. It shouldn't be the norm. That should be something that happens very infrequently, so it shouldn't really impact your business a whole ton, but it is really aggravating. I definitely can understand how annoying that is. But it's really one of those ones you just kind of got to chalk it up. And that's the best you can do. Like those are one of those ones where people just understand how returns work with eBay and how to get the most out of it. So Better Barbie said, I keep getting eBay doing auto accepting returns. I'm trying to stop it in the preferences, but nothing works. So to my knowledge, unless something changed that since this last item not as described case, the only ones they've been accepting for me are like do not fit, or if they clearly show something isn't as described, like with photos and they back it up, it'll just accept it. They haven't been auto accepting ones where they don't provide enough of proof. So I've had 2 items not described where they didn't provide photos or anything, and then a clear description, and it didn't auto accept it. So I don't know if there's some type of filter they're running. That could have changed since I'm saying this in the video. I honestly don't get a lot of items not as described. That's very rare for me. I get a lot of do not fit or change my mind. That's a lot of what I get. So that's at least what I know about the returns. So somebody's asked, what software am I using for my VA to publish listings? Great question. So I currently, for the size that I am, prefer InkFrog. I think it's the most affordable software for a smaller seller. I consider myself a smaller seller. I have about 10,000 items, about 3,300 active listings. She uses InkFrog as the primary place to list it on eBay, and then she cross-posts it to Poshmark and Mercari from there for me, and she handles the delisting of all those 3 platforms through that. It doesn't integrate with the other 2 platforms, so she has to do a lot of that manually. But that's where she originates all the listings, is on InkFrog. I think it's a great tool for, I think I pay $29.99 a month for the unlimited staff accounts. Like for a $30 tool, it's pretty solid to be able to give employee rights. It's pretty low cost when you think about it on a yearly basis. Someone asked me how the puppy is doing. So context, if you're new to my channel, I have a 3-year-old golden retriever, Thor. He's definitely our big baby of the family. He's awesome dog. And we decided about 3 weeks ago, I think we picked this guy up to get him a little brother. So we picked him up. He was like 8 weeks when we picked him up. So he's about I think 10 and a half, 11 right now. And his name is Bruno. So they are doing very well. They're becoming best buddies very quickly. In the beginning, they don't sleep. Thor was a little unsure at first. He's like, what is this dude doing here, when he didn't leave after the first couple of days. We had dog sitted before, so I think he at first thought, yeah, he's here for a little bit, he's going to leave. But now they're kind of best buddies. Starting to sleep a little longer through the night, which is nice. Not as long as I'd like yet, but we're getting there. So hopefully sleep will become a little more common soon. But thank you for asking. I appreciate it. And someone just said they've been stalking the puppy videos every day on Instagram. So my wife, Shannon, she has an Instagram that she made just for the dogs, so we weren't bombarding our personal ones with it or my business ones with it, although sometimes I put them in my story because he's so cute. But it's named Thor Meets Bruno, like the superhero, Thor meets Bruno, like Bruno Mars. And so she posts on there probably 2, 3, sometimes 4 times a day, just different photos and videos. So if you love golden retrievers or you just want to smile, go give her a follow. She posts a lot of pictures of them on there. So someone just asked, how is Mercari doing for me? So I actually posted on Instagram today about this. I've had 18 sales in 17 days on Mercari, my first 17 days. So on fire. It's been great. But I have chatted with Chris a little bit over on Daily Refinement and a couple other reselling people. And from what I hear is Mercari is very front loaded. So your new listings get a lot of views and a lot of sale opportunities. But then once they sit for a week or two, they get virtually no traffic and just sit. So I think that's where I'm really going to have to heavily utilize the send offers to Lakers feature on there to try to keep old inventory moving and promoting it through price cutting. It's interesting because Chris made a point to me that he doesn't really like discounting his goods for promotion, which I actually agree with. I'm a big like high price long term seller, but I have actually been using the send offer to Lakers on both Poshmark and Mercari a lot lately. Now that my VA is actually doing all of my pricing for me, so she's setting all my listings live, I'm spending a lot of my time adjusting pricing, sharing my closet, doing extra sharing, and doing extra price promotion and offers to try to keep things moving because I'm kind of just using that extra time to make that happen. So it's been working really well so far. I'm not sure if it'll keep going at that pace, but right now, I mean, I had like 250 items listed right now on there. That's it. And I've sold 18 items in 17 days. I mean, that's a ridiculous sell through compared to eBay or even Poshmark. So real happy with that. So Ryan just asked, what would your reselling business look like if you went full time? That's a loaded question. So I'm going to answer it this way. I'm going to answer the question as if I was ready to go full time and that was all I was going to do, what would I need it to be like? I think that might be what you're asking, but I just want to clarify before I answer. So if I was going to go full time, I was ready to go full time, I would have a commercial space already designated. Ideally for me, because I like to invest in real estate, I want to own my commercial space and I want to be a multi-unit because I want to be able to rent out the other units to hedge on my own rent for the space I'm using. So that would be number one. I have to find a multi-unit commercial property that I own and have rented and can kind of diversify there and hedge. So that'd be one. I do not want to go full-time living out of my house. Just from even working at home a few days here or there with my day job, I don't do well working at home for long periods of time. I have to be out and do I have to be in a different environment with people. I've learned that about myself over the last couple of years. I would be a terrible solo reseller. Like I would not do well by myself. I'm way too social. It would crush me. So I'd have to have that warehouse space. I would have to have a contract with at least two separate companies that I was giving tractor trailer loads of liquidation from. I wouldn't want to be using a broker anymore. When I say broker, I wouldn't want to be using the liquidation companies anymore. I would want to have direct contracts with actual companies liquidating their goods to me. I want to be the liquidation company, and then I would want to be the one flipping it. So that would be number two. I don't think I'm comfortable relying on liquidators themselves to be full-time and have a business the size that I would want to be full-time. And then, kind of taking a step up from there. Because of that, I would probably want to be handling like a couple of tractor trailer loads a month, which means I'd probably need a staff of right around like 10 or 12. And I would want my business to be half selling in wholesale, like wholesale bulk liquidation. Like basically I would want to take in the tractor trailer loads, sell off the stuff that my systems can't sell. So like I'm built for apparel and those type of things. And if that's the route I go, I would probably have a channel that sends stuff that's Amazon FBA-able in. I'd have like a workstation with dedicated 2 employees, process anything that can go FBA that makes sense into FBA because it doesn't take up space. Then I would have the portion that I'm set up to do photos and store and fulfill myself. And they would take all that inventory and process it through, probably 4 to 6 employees. And then I would probably have 2 other dedicated employees and myself to handle marketing and selling off all the other inventory that comes to the tractor trailers that I don't want to process through FBA or myself and resell that to other resellers. Those would be like the 3 channels I would want to make sure that I had a pretty strong diversity of 1, income coming in, and 2, suppliers coming in, and then having even diversity in where my warehouse itself is so that it's hedging with renting. So I know that was a lot all at once. I've put a lot of thought into this. I don't know it's the perfect model, but I've talked to a lot of people who have, are successful with warehouse models, are successful with tractor trailers, are successful at that scale. And I've kind of just taken bits and pieces that they do well. That's to me like the ideal model that I would want to go full time. I can definitely see in the next like half a decade, the way I'm going now, slowly building up, like I can operate out of my home here, growing and growing for quite a while still with the model I have and work full time. So I'll probably soak that up as long as I can to have both going because it's just a great wealth creation early on in your life to be able to have that base. And so the longer I can hold on and do it, the more successful I think I'll be later on, especially acquiring properties and things like that. Because the other thing is I don't want to give up the investing in real estate side. I actually want, like my whole goal with reselling always was that I would build the business, I'd build the machine, and it would continually buy investment real estate for me on the side, all the profit. And then eventually, whatever age I deem fit, I'd have a big real estate portfolio and eventually shift out of that, whether it be selling the reselling business and just focusing on the real estate or whatnot. That would kind of be the flip eventually. So hopefully that makes sense. No one's actually asked me that question like that. They've always asked me when I'm going full time. They've never asked me what that would require. So that was a great question. Actually, I liked having to articulate that. Feel free to come, pick it apart in the comments, guys. I love hearing feedback on there, but I think that's the route I would go. Thrifty Nickel, how you doing? How you guys? Are you guys freezing out there right now this time of year, or you guys been traveling a bit? See if any other questions going in. Better Barbie asked, do you have a video? I probably missed. It's about finding a liquidator. I don't have specific videos about it, but I talk about it in a lot of videos. Honestly, I tell everyone this, like, I messaged like 50 plus liquidators in a geographic range that I was comfortable with. And I got one to reply. Like, that's literally like this one that I use that I don't share. It was the one that replied. And I got to meet in person. I have a handshake agreement with them. Like, I was lucky, but I was lucky because I cast a wide net and just kind of kept pounding away and gave all my information and what I was looking for to all these people. And then, the one time it worked out, he had something come in, he couldn't move. He texted me and, hey, do you want this? I need to know by this day. You need to wire me money if you want it, or I'm going to sell it to someone else. And that was how the relationship started. And so when I say local Better Barbie, I will say local East Coast. So to me, when I think of liquidators, I want something that can ship within the week to me. So like on a Monday, if I need an order, I want to know I can get it fulfilled by the end of the week. So being on the East Coast, pretty much, unless I'm like, I have to be like far, far north and not get here on time. Like I've ordered from Florida before, and Florida gets here, within 5 days typically with liftgate delivery. So it is freezing out there, getting the house ready to go on the market. Oh, nice. Is that a good thing? I hope you guys getting ready to move someplace warmer. And we're supposedly getting drilled with snow here, so I'll be interested to see if that happens. Someone just said on Poshmark, what's your strategy for listing for duplicates? One listing with multiple sizes or separate listings for each size? So I've always taken the approach, even with eBay for the most part, variant listings are very tricky to manage for me. So I end up doing, usually if the size is unique, I do separate listings generally. I do have some multivariant listings. It just depends. I think eBay's policy technically is you're not supposed to have multiple listings of the same product of different sizes. I think that's pretty loosely enforced. I've actually seen the opposite where they're enforcing incorrect multivariant listings. So I don't really know what they're looking for. I do a mix. I do a mix of what makes sense based on what my quantity is, how many of them I have. If I've got 2 of 4 different items, I don't have enough sizes to really fill out the multivariant. It doesn't make sense for me to put up a multivariant where I'm like, I have 2 smalls, I have 2 XLs, and I have 2, 4 XLs. Like, that's a pretty wide range of a product. Someone's going to be really unhappy clicking on that link and then being like, really? Those are only 3 sizes you have? So I think from like a search perspective, unless you have the full range of sizes to cover from that multivariant, I think it's a really crappy buyer experience to click on it and only get a couple sizes that might not be yours. All right, I'm going to take maybe 2 more questions, and then I'm going to hang out with Shannon for the rest of the night downstairs and relax the puppy. But I wanted to get a video up because I hadn't done one all week. It's been kind of crazy at work and with the puppy. So Ryan said, what are your reselling goals for 2019? Great question. I'm actually going to put out a video on that probably within the week. So I'm going to hold off answering that too detailed. If you don't mind, and please don't take it as disrespect. I think it's a fantastic question. I just want to spend the time and dedicate to explaining what they are and really think them through before I put them out there publicly. Let's see. Oh, so they're thinking about moving to the Carolinas. Yeah, that would be great. We'd love to have you down here. That'd be awesome. And thank you. Said the puppy's very amazing. Yeah, he's adorable. He's a little shithead sometimes, but that comes with the puppy territory. Let's say we got 51 watching live. I really appreciate everyone tuning in. It's like I said in my last video, if you watched it, I've just been loving making content again. I really miss making content. So definitely give me feedback if seeing these sales are valuable to you. I know a lot of my audience, I'm trying to stay in tune to the audience, right? A lot of you are thrifters still. You're not really buying in bulk. So I just want to make sure that it's adding value. So if it is valuable, definitely drop in the comments. I'll keep making these, once a week, maybe twice or once every 2 weeks. Just trying to get a feel for what is adding value. Someone just said any jersey finds for my bulk buys or from, I sold, put 2 jersey sales in this video itself. I get jerseys occasionally from my liquidators. I actually had a batch of Georgia Matt Stafford ones. I just got a bunch of OJ Howard ones from Tampa Bay Bucks. Every now and then they come, and usually the Nike ones is pretty nice. Yeah, but yeah, I don't get a ton of jerseys. I get a few here and there. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna call it good. Oh, and Donna just said she's bought a tool lot for liquidation. That's awesome. You'll have to let me know how that goes. I haven't really dabbled with anything outside of clothing from bulk buying. I know there's a lot of money in it, especially if you know your niche and know what you're selling. I've stuck to my lane with knowing apparel. It's just been easier for me. But yeah, that's pretty neat. I'm curious down to how that goes for you. But yeah, if you guys can just drop in the chat or drop in the comments after the video is over how you liked it, I would really appreciate it just to get a feel for if I should keep doing these. Have a great night, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. I'm trying to put out a couple of videos this weekend, probably one each day if I can. And hopefully you guys get out there and thrift, garage sale, or source, or do whatever you're going to do this weekend. You guys kill it. And if it's cold and snow where you are, stay warm and stay safe. Thanks, everyone. See ya.